Hello readers, welcome back to Sandra is Book, where I talk all things book and bookish related. So this week we have a winter reading vlog, a winter themed vlog, and I basically read books with winter in the title. So I will briefly go through the books, then you'll watch the vlog, and then finally I'll wrap up the books that I've read. First we have If Not Winter by Anne Carson, and these are fragments from Sappho's work, the Greek poetess lyricist, where most of her words are fragmented now and they can be read on paper. And then we have This Winter by Alice Oseman, and I didn't know upon starting this that this is kind of like a prequel to Solitaire the book and then the Heartstopper graphic novel series. So this is a short little novella. And then I have The Winter Vault by Anne Michaels, which follows this Canadian couple that basically fall in love, and they have their own history of grief and whatnot. I feel like I described all of these books terribly, but I promise I read them and like that they're actually good and I actually enjoy them. So yes, now let's get into the video. Here's my update so far. I started reading The Winter Vault by Anne Michaels, and basically Anne Michaels wrote my favorite book in the world, like one of my favorite books in the world, and it's Fugitive Pieces. And then 10 years later she wrote this book. So for my winter reading vlog, obviously I'm reading this, and I just want to say the story so far is so captivating. It follows this couple, Avery and Jean, or Jean, I think it's Jean, and basically he is in the Nile, like not close to the Nile, not on the Nile, in Egypt, and he is basically what they're doing is they're rebuilding a temple, like they're taking it off and they're repositioning it on safer ground before it gets like not flooded per se, but yeah, kind of flooded, and kind of like, you know, the sand threatens to like you know, basically engulf the whole temple. I think that's what's happening right now. The writing is so lyrical, it's so beautiful, it's very Anne Michaels. And let me just share with you one of the passages, or one of the lines that I highlighted. It says here, "He taught that only love teaches a man his debt. That is in the solitude of love that we learn to drown." And it's just so beautiful. Only Anne Michaels literally, you know, can talk about history and, you know, civilization, and civilization through time, through archaeology, to the capture of painting and the Cro-Magnon and all that stuff, and just like casually like mention a quote about love and humankind. And I just love her for that. So this is another thing I want to talk about. It's so artfully depicted, like the details are so vivid, and it like basically talks about how, you know, dry Egypt is, how hot it is, and how the workers are like suffering. And the funny thing is, through this depiction I can see where Frank Herbert from Dune, I can see where he got his inspiration, and it's basically probably by reading stuff concerning Egypt, because in Egypt, basically the way Anne Michaels describes it, it's very much arid. There are earthworms of 1 meter long, there's dunes, and then it says here, a landscape so arid that its annual rainfall barely fills 4 teaspoons. Like the descriptions and the lack of water and the heat, and you know, like the life-threatening, like she goes on and says that the character is thinking about how many bodies were claimed by the land itself, like how many literal bodies, not metaphorical, literal bodies have been claimed through the work of the land. So I don't know, it's just so fascinating. I really am enjoying it so far. Can't wait to see what happened. It is taking place in 1964, so it's a different time zone all on its own, and the story so far is pretty intriguing. It's very history heavy, and Anne Michaels does history very well, so I'm excited to see what else she comes up with. me again. Alright, so now we're here to wrap up the 3 books that I read. I was supposed to read a bunch of other books, but obviously did not make it into the video. They were too long for me to read right now, and I have so many books that I'm currently reading, so I kept it short, I kept it simple. So let's start with If Not Winter, Fragments of Sappho by Anne Carson. I absolutely love Anne Carson. The way she translates and has this new perspective on Greek mythology is amazing. However, this book, this translation, had too many brackets of pauses and like, you know, like she calls these brackets of silence and stillness, but I don't know, I just couldn't like connect with the text. I feel like there was maybe a total of 5 lines or 5 kind of lyric poem that actually resonated with me, and those were the ones that were actually completed. So it's unfortunate to say I still enjoyed the read, but compared to my expectations, like this book did not meet those expectations of Anne Carson in general. Then I read This Winter by Alice Oseman, and I actually really enjoyed it, and I can't wait to get my copy of Solitaire. I ordered it in the mail, and then I'm going to read that, and then definitely going to read the Heartstopper graphic novel series. It has queer representation, it has representation for eating disorder, depression, family representation, and all kinds of things. And so we follow in this short story during the winter time, Christmas time, Tori, who is the sister of Charlie, and Charlie just came back from a facility where they are treating his eating disorder, where he's working through his problems and, you know, his self-harm tendency and basically his eating disorder. And he's also queer, and he's also in a relationship with the loving Nick. And so we get to see a little bit of that relationship as well, and we get to see how Tori is the one helping Charlie the most in their family, and they also have a younger sibling, and his name is Oliver, I believe. Yes, and he's super sweet, and he just cares to have all the family together and to have his siblings play Mario Kart with him during Christmas time. So this was short, it was sweet, it was impactful, and I just really like the queer representation and the eating disorder representation a lot, and I cannot wait to continue on with this entire series. So then we have The Winter Vault by Anne Michaels. I honestly got halfway through, I'm not gonna lie to you, and it was good. I underlined a lot of like sentences. However, I feel like this one is dragging and it's really hard to get into. I feel like I'm doing progress with it, and then I look at the time and it's been like an hour has passed and I've only read 20 pages. So it's not as accessible as her earlier novel, which was Fugitive Pieces, which by the way is one of my all-time favorite novels of all time. So the expectation was way too high going into this, and although I like it, although I enjoy it, I do not love it, and I'm finding it really dragging. The characters themselves are interesting. We have Jean and Avery, and they fall in love, and they're from Canada, and they've both lost a parent, and this loss kind of connects them to each other even more as they go through memories that they've had with their parents. And we have Avery, who's into like constructing dams and all these big hydraulic projects, where he learned this passion from his father. And then we have Jean, who is interested in plants. She learned this love of plants through her mother, and also her father, who was, you know, taking the place of her mother after her mother passed. So it's actually a very aching novel. It's a very slow and subtle novel. It's very beautiful. It's very beautifully written. Kind of hard to understand sometimes, because I'm like, wait, what's happening? Who's who? Who's what? There's not that many dialogue tags either. Like there'll be like one on every like second page, and then the narrator just goes off and retell their stories. But I do enjoy it. I hope to finish it in the next week or so, but I think it's time to close off this video. It's like March 15th. Here in Canada, it is still snowing, especially where I live. Like, it was so misleading because yesterday it was raining and now it's back to snowing, so it is what it is. Canadian winters just do be like that. Anyways, I would like to know, which books have you read during your winter, or which books have you read that are set in winter? I would love to know. And as always, if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. All readers and non-readers are more than welcome on this channel. My goal here is just to inspire you to read more and to help you find your next favorite book. So For now, I'm going to go and read all the other books that I'm reading, and I'll film the video for that. Obviously, you will not be missing out, and I will try to read this at a very, very slow pace until I can finish it, and hopefully I'll change my mind about it. Just so you guys know, I do have a blog with my reviews that are up. I haven't been updating it for a while, so hopefully maybe in the next month or so I'll like go and update like the 30 last reviews that I read like in the end of last year and the beginning of this year. So keep an eye on that, and there are other reviews up on there anyways. So if you are interested and if you want to know things more in depth, you can always refer to that. Or you can always follow me on Instagram and TikTok by the same name. I know I never like plug myself to this extent, but I feel like maybe some of you might not know all the channels that are available down below to you. If you want to see more of my face, hear more of my thoughts, it's up to you. Read more of my thoughts even. Everything is linked down below all the time, even the books. Alright, so I will see you and have a happy rest of the winter. Bye bye.